Yeah, happy because in the house.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's SK Assumer here, and that was probably unnecessary. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and talk about this today. The the Disney and Fox merger, which is going to be happening now. And what we're gonna talk about. We're not gonna talk about the numbers or like what's the deal with what's going on. We're gonna theory craft today. I love theory crafting. Theory crafting is a major thing I love to do. I love to just sit around and theory craft for hours, but all my friends are asleep right now. So we're gonna do it with you guys, and hopefully you guys, put in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of, what's gonna happen with the MCU from now on. So as the video goes on, and I explain some things to some people, maybe some of you guys don't know what I'm talking about, and this is where I'm gonna explain a lot of these things to you guys, just to like refresh your course on what Marvel is, to the point that I know it, and to some of the other comic book fans know it. So we're gonna go over like things like Earth 616 being one of the main things that I wanted to get into. So for the sake of keeping it simple, Earth 616 is where all of your storylines in the Marvel Comics take place. Well, the vast majority of your storylines in the Marvel Comics take place in. And Earth 616 is where you get all your mutants, all your heroes, all of your Inhumans, all of your aliens, all your Kree, all that stuff put together. We're gonna go on the smallest meaning of Earth 616 as we can, because going through the whole backstory of Earth 616 is a whole nother thing. Another thing we need to be aware of, because I'm not sure how many people actually know the show is out there or actually pay attention to the show, but it's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has a little bit of backstory on some of the races that we might be being introduced to in the coming movies. So it's good to have the knowledge of that too. So this one's a shocker to me, actually, because I actually thought they were going to go ahead and cancel this so that Disney could go ahead and, re-roll the whole universe. But they're letting New Mutants and the Dark Phoenix movie continue, which is a big shocker to me. And I'm okay with it because I wanted to see the movies regardless. So I guess we're going to go ahead and see what they do with that. And I'm going to theory craft that into what I already have in my mind right now. Alright, so first of all, great big disclaimer. I am a fan of the comic books. I haven't read every single comic book. I haven't read every single issue. I haven't read every single What If. I haven't read every single What Happens After. I haven't read every single preceding comic. But I do know the gist of what I've read. And I've read a lot of the events. I've read a lot of the standalone comics. I have a decent knowledge on what is in the MCU right now. I haven't been caught up recently. I haven't read Civil War 2, so that's probably something I should put out there, because we're going to go into Civil War 2 as well as one of the topics. Spoiler alert. Yeah, also, spoiler alert for people that haven't seen Infinity War yet. Go see the movie, and if you haven't, click off here. So immediately after seeing the news of the Disney Fox merger actually happening, I pretty much geeked out on my Facebook and was like, guys, what if this is how they fix Infinity War? What if this is how they get everything together, and say they go to fix, like, they go to somehow get everything back together. We don't know how they're going to do it, but they're going to do it. And instead of just straight up getting everything fixed, they somehow shift the universe into a whole new universe, which would be Earth 616, where Mutants, Fantastic Four, and Galactus and Doctor Doom all exist now. Is it like that's where my theory is going. I'm gonna apologize right now, because going forward everything's gonna sound a lot neater in my head than when it comes out of my mouth. So I'm gonna say sorry for that. So we know Avengers 4, they're gonna bring pretty much everyone they can back somehow. And who's to say that somehow is 100% safe way to do it without altering some effects of the universe, without creating a whole new universe, which could be Earth 616. Now that they have all the mutant characters, the Fantastic Four characters, the Silver Surfer, Galactus. Now they have all those characters. Who's to say they don't take that chance to create Earth 616 to make the Marvel Cinematic Universe match more of the Marvel comic book universe? And going forward from that, they can go ahead and use the Dark Phoenix story to step into Avengers vs. X-Men, where the X-Men are possessed by the Phoenix Force, and they're battling the Avengers while trying to create the perfect utopia for mutants, trying to make sure that they can keep mutant kind safe, in their own words. So AVX is a good event, and I'm going to go ahead and pretty much spoil it out a little bit from here. So once again, click off if you don't want spoilers. Go read the comics and hop back in, or go watch one of these videos on YouTube that pretty much like shoot it down for you so you can know exactly where it goes from here. I'm only going to speak about a part of it. I'm not going to tell you the whole thing. It starts off with Cable actually finding out that his daughter Hope is going to be in some form of trouble when it comes to the Phoenix Force that is returning to Earth at the time. And so the Avengers also get a wind of this, and they go to Scott Summers at the X Mansion, and they're like, "Hey, like, yo, your girl is in some trouble. Let us take her into protective custody because if this goes down, like the Phoenix is coming, and if the Phoenix comes, we need to be able to control her and control it, and make sure it doesn't harm anyone else because she is a vessel for the Phoenix." And Scott's like, "No, X-Men will handle their own." That's pretty much it. I feel like the whole AVX is meant to make you like aim all your hate at Scott. Like it's just like laser focus on Scott, all your hate. So while all this is going on, another sect of the Avengers, I think it's the new Avengers, is in space, and they're going to like go ahead and try to deflect the Phoenix, trying to fight the Phoenix off, and that doesn't work at all because the Phoenix is just like, I'm gonna eat your whole, planet. I'm gonna destroy everything, and I don't care. So Phoenix blows by that, and at the same time when that's going on, the X-Men and the Avengers meet up on Utopia, which is Magneto's little area for mutants, and they have like this huge fight. The X-Men end up giving up, and Hope escapes. Like she dips out. She's like, "Nah, I'm not gonna be a part of this." She dips out, and they somehow end up on the moon. I forgot. Like, there's a whole mix of the storyline here. Like I said, you might want to go read it because it explains it more. And I'm gonna go into it. So they end up on the moon, and Iron Man somehow comes up with a weapon that's supposed to like destroy the Phoenix Force, and it screws that up completely. Like he screws that up majorly. Doesn't destroy the Phoenix Force, separates it into like 5 pieces, and it ends up breaking off and going into Cyclops, Emma Frost, Namor, Colossus, and Magic. Okay, so from here we have Path A and we have Path B. Path A is continuing from AVX onto Civil War, the comic version of Civil War, and Path B being not even doing AVX and continuing from Avengers 4 onto the comic version of Civil War. And these would play out, this Civil War would play out differently than the Civil War we had from the movie. And I'm saying that simply because, as you can see here on the side, people also asked, who killed Captain America in Civil War? In the comic book version of Civil War, Captain America is dead. Like, he died at the end of that. There are the what ifs of the story that continue on, like, what if Captain America lived? What if this happened? What if that happened? But we're not going to go into all that. The reason that this Civil War happened, though, is completely different to how that Civil War in the movie happened. So once again, if you want to find out more, go ahead and pick up the books and read them yourself. But I'm going to go ahead and pretty much go over the gist of why it happened and how it is different. So the way Civil War happened in the comics, it is because I'm going to skip a lot of the beginning stuff and go into what caused it, and it's pretty much because of this villain Nitro. He ended up like creating an explosion that destroyed, I think it was a school and a playground and like pretty much an entire block of a city, and it wasn't solely because of him, but it was because of like some renegade heroes, some vigilante heroes were out there trying to stop him, and they weren't really trained to to fight a villain like Nitro. So they thought they had it under control because they're heroes, they have powers and stuff. They're like, oh yeah, we're big and bad, we can handle this guy, and they evidently couldn't. And I think they lost like one or two of the members as well in the explosion. So this called Iron Man and Reed Richards to start up the Mutant Registration, not the Mutant Registration Act, the Superhero Registration Act, and of course Captain America was against it because he's like, why do we need to register? Why this and this and this and this? And that led to a lot more stuff. Like there were a lot of betrayals. Spider-Man, of course, joined the side of Iron Man, which led to him getting the Iron Spider outfit, and that led to the death of Goliath, which that was a horrible death in that whole series. And there was a whole different Ragnarok that led into that series as well. It was speculated that Thor died because Mjolnir fell to Earth, and it was recovered, and Thor was cloned. And just pick up the book, and you'll see all the other stuff that's going on in Civil War, because it's a very good book as well. And like I said, it's completely different because it has nothing to do with the Winter Soldier and the death of Tony's parents. So we're gonna go ahead and cut all that off right there. So my other theory is that they can cut that off. They can cut off Civil War 1 completely, the new Civil War 1, which would be the comic rendition of it, and at the end of AVX, throw in Civil War 2, which would be Iron Man versus Captain Marvel. And this story happens, like, I haven't read the story, but I know the synopsis of it. I know, like, what led up to what of it. I still need to go ahead and, like, sit down and read it, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you, like, pretty much, like, what led into it. So there's an Inhuman known as Ulysses Kane, and he pretty much what's the word they use? It's Terrigenesis or something like that. That's how they become Inhumans. They go through like a metamorphosis process called Terrigenesis, and Terrigenesis he gets his power, and his power is for him to be able to see into the future, see future threats that come, and he sees like an apocalyptic future, and from seeing that he tries to warn people, and this whole thing goes on to where Tony's like, oh, he doesn't think that we should prepare for threats before, like try to pretty much try to take out threats before they're there. And Captain Marvel's like, well, we should probably try to stop these things because they could be world ending and we can't stop them normally, and this and that. And that leads into the deaths of a lot of people. Like it just, like I said, I've read the synopsis. People die. This goes crazy. But they can just go into that too, because we already know they're introducing Captain Marvel. So the reason all these tie themselves together in my head is because of the Netflix shows, the Netflix series of shows, The Defenders, which would be Luke Cage's show, Iron Fist show, Jessica Jones show, and Daredevil's show, and the other guy, the Punisher show. So these all come together to me because, like, going in towards, like, say they would go into Civil War, would be because the rise of these type of heroes. They're just coming out of nowhere, and they're not themselves as heroes. They're not themselves as like the good guys, but they're not trained to handle the situations the way Iron Man would handle the situation, or the way Captain America would handle the situation, with trying to minimize the damage. Which that's ironic to say because New York happened. But yeah. But yeah, there's a gateway of what goes on in my mind when I see things like this. And this is the first time I've actually gotten the chance to voice it out on like pretty much a public forum, I guess this would be considered. Uh, so, hopefully you guys would, drop some comments. Let me know what you guys think. When it comes to my theories, let me know what you guys think is going to happen based on your theories as well. Because I'd like to actually hear, I actually love to hear other people's theories when it comes to the advancement of, the universes of comics and anime and things like that. And, of course, now I'm a big comic fan, so yeah, this channel's kind of going everywhere right now. But like I said, I'm YouTubing for fun, so this is where it's gonna go with me. Whatever I decide to talk about, be it comics or anime or video games, that's what's gonna go on about, and hopefully you guys will stick around through that. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Like I said, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think about my theory. Introduce your theory. I would be glad to listen to your theory or read your theory or watch your theory. Post your link to your theory if you want to. And peace out.